Should you buy a home right now? In today's show, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you shouldn't, and I'm going to give you some bonus tips on knowing when is the right time to buy. All I need you to do is to smash that like button. So, welcome to the Generational Wealth Podcast. I am Uzziah, your success strategist. If you're on right now, please leave me a comment with your name and where you're from so I can shout you out and show you some love. Now, guys, you all know that this channel is all about how to create generational wealth. Because in 2013, I paid off over $95,000 in student loan debt 2 years after graduating from college. And now I'm on a mission to change the world. So, shout out to everyone who's already checked out my 3 Keys to Financial Freedom Masterclass. This is totally free, guys. In that masterclass, I show you how I was able to do it. I show you not only how I was able to retire from corporate America at age 26, I also show you guys how I became a best-selling author, real estate investor, and entrepreneur. As some of you may know, I own over $1 million worth of real estate, but this is not about me. It's about you and how you can protect your family for generations to come. So if you're tired of constantly trading time for money and you want to create some new revenue streams, click the link below because I'm going to show you guys how to do that in this free masterclass. This is going to be very, very important. So happy to see y'all on. Thank y'all so much for shouting out and showing love. I see you, Yanaya. I see you, Ariel. So happy to have all of y'all in the house. And as always, for those of you guys that are serious about creating new streams of income, I'm willing to promote your business on my channel for free. That's right. For all of you guys that are out there that are like, man, he's always talking about how we should level up. I'm trying to help you get there. That's the reason why, if you start a new business or if you are a current business owner, all you've got to do is leave me a comment below. Let me know who you are. Let me know what your business is about. And I will give your business free promo on my channel, guys. I do this show around the clock, and I would love nothing more than to show you guys some support. Okay. And as always, before we go ahead and begin today's podcast, I've got to give a big shout out to my sponsors. The sponsors are so important in keeping this show going, guys. So thank you so much for all of you guys that continue to support. I want to give a big shout out to my brother Yasha Allah. Big shout out to Akaman. Big shout out to Lyra Texan and Israelite. Page, everybody that supports this platform on a regular basis. Your contributions go a very long way. Now, you might be asking, well, what's a sponsor? A sponsor is someone who helps to keep the channel on air. I give you guys so much time and so much of my energy, really trying to give you as much value as possible, but I really cannot do this without your support. So if you love this channel and you want to see more content, please do me a favor and tap the dollar icon directly below. By you giving a super chat, that will help me make more shows to be able to give more value to our audience. And as always, y'all know what time it is. Whoever makes the highest donation for this podcast will be the official sponsor of the event. So let's get into it, guys. Should you buy a home right now? I want y'all to leave me a comment. Should you buy a home right now? Yes or no? I'm here to tell you 5 reasons why you shouldn't buy a home right now, but some of you may think differently. I'm going to give you guys some information today that's going to be really important to help you make some good buying decisions. So just stay tuned with me. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you smash that like button and feel free to share this with your family and friends on your social media outlets. So now let's begin. Oh, shout out to my brother Yasha Allah. My brother Yasha Allah, who I just shouted out on General Principle, actually did make a donation. So shout out to him as always. He said, Shalom, big bro. Hope you're enjoying your new prince in the house. I definitely am. Man, he is keeping me and the wife busy, man. He's keeping us very busy. So y'all just keep me and my house in your prayers. And we definitely appreciate your donation and your vote of support. Let's talk about this, guys. Should you buy a house right now? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I want to show you 5 reasons why you shouldn't. Here's reason 1. 75% of recent home buyers have regrets about buying a house. Statistics show that you're more likely to regret buying a house than enjoying it. I want to make sure that this is not you. Guys, making a home purchase is one of the biggest financial decisions that you will ever make. And so I want you to be informed. I want it to be a blessing instead of a curse. And now we're going to see why so many Americans regret buying a home each year, and most importantly, how you can avoid these regrets when you decide to buy your property. A recent survey shows new home buyers have a host of regrets. By running the numbers, making a wish list, and doing your research can avoid a similar fate. Now, guys, as always, we're not going to go through the entire article. I'm just going to highlight a couple key points so that you know where this information is coming from. Right now, I'm on the Motley Fool, and it says buying a home is a big decision, and it's definitely not one to be taken lightly. I agree. But recent data from Zillow reveals that 75% of people who bought homes in the past 2 years have at least one regret. Guys, that's a very big number. That's 3 out of 4 people. 3 out of every 4 people that buy a home in America wish that they didn't do it. And the question is, why do they feel this way? It says, if you want to avoid having the same thing happen to you, here are 3 essential moves to make. Number 1, set a budget before you start house hunting. Buying a home you can't afford is a mistake that may not only stress you out, but also put you at risk of losing that home. That's why it's important to do some number crunching before embarking on a home search. To give you guys a bit of perspective, the reason why Motley Fool is giving this as a tip is because 75% of people regret buying a home is because a lot of those guys ended up going house poor in getting the property. What do I mean when I say house poor? House poor is when you buy a home that you cannot afford and keeping up with the payment stresses you out. Think about all of the people who lost their home during the 2008 housing crash. So many Americans want the biggest and best homes every year, but it doesn't make sense for their wallet. So what you have to first figure out is, what is a home that will work for you? Now, a lot of people get real sensitive when it comes to this because they don't want to put any limits on their dream property. They want the big house with the white picket fence. A lot of us have been dreaming about this from our youth, but you want to make sure you don't make a bad decision. There are so many people that are excusing themselves away, pushing themselves away from creating generational wealth, all because of this one decision. How you choose to buy a home could make or break wealth creation. And that's the reason why the first tip that the Motley Fool is given is set a budget before you start house hunting. Now, why do they say before you start house hunting? Because guess what people do? People will go out there and say, hey, I want to buy a home. And they really don't run the numbers on what they can afford. So instead, what they do is they just drive around places, and whichever place has their heart, that's the place that they want to pursue, even if they can't afford it. Before you get sold on a home, you need to know what is within your budget. That's why it says figure out how much cash you have on hand for a down payment and use that to calculate the mortgage amount you're comfortable taking on. That will in turn help you set a price range and avoid your time and avoid wasting your time scoping out homes that don't fit into your budget. Now, this is another big principle that a lot of personal finance gurus tend to believe. A lot of people that teach personal finance agree that you really don't want to spend any more than 20 to 30% of your income on housing. If all of your money is going towards a home, that means you don't have any extra money to invest. You want to be able to invest in other things outside of real estate. This channel is all about you learning how to diversify your assets. So if any one thing goes down, guys, you can be on the come up. But if all your money is locked into paying bills, especially your mortgage, you won't have enough breathing room to make real moves. And that's the reason why on the second reason, it says make a list of deal breakers and stick to it. There may be certain home features you have your heart set on that you really don't want to compromise on. It's a good idea to make a list of those before starting your home search so you know what is and what isn't a deal breaker. Now, guys, to me, this is extremely crucial because a lot of people get caught up in their emotions. The same way that they spend beyond their means, they start looking at houses with all of these nice features and they're like, oh man, I just gotta get this. Well, the truth is, you really don't have to get it. A lot of times we'll say that we want something, and then within 3 to 6 months, we don't even care about it anymore. And this is the reason why so many people are buying homes and regretting the purchase, because the way that you fantasize and envision buying a home is totally different than what buying a home really is like in real life. Guys, I want to warn you guys about something. Buying a home is a part of the American dream that was meant to take your money. Society makes a lot of money off of issuing a mortgage. When they're telling you that you need a home so bad, it's not really for your best interest. When you think about how much money the banks make by offering out loans of $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and then some, it behooves them to sell you on that because that's the largest type of purchase that you will make. You're not going to spend $300,000 on a car for the most part. You're not going to have a credit card that's $300,000. So they got to have some way to get you. Be careful with this because a lot of people think that the more money that they spend on a home, the happier they'll be, when reality, study shows that that's a myth. Whether you're going in a modest home or a mansion, everyone will reach a certain breaking point where it might have been exciting for you to move into this home the first 3 to 6 months in, but over time it wears off. And this is the problem with us as consumers. We are constantly convincing ourselves that if we just make this one extra purchase, then everything in our life will be great. We tell ourselves that all the time. How many of y'all can relate? We tell ourselves, oh man, if I could just move into this house, my life would be great. And then you spend all your time complaining about the mortgage. We just do this to ourselves in a way that's just so crazy. We'll say, hey, if I have a better car, oh man, that'll do it. And then you get the car, and then there's another problem. One of the things that we must do on the road to creating generational wealth is us begin to identify what true wealth looks like. This channel is not just about dollars and cents. It's about you identifying what makes your life truly rich. When I say what makes your life truly rich, I mean, for some of you, that may mean spending time with your family. For some of you, that may mean giving back to your favorite nonprofit. Everybody has certain things that, even without money, gives us a lot of fulfillment. And one of the biggest pitfalls that we want to avoid is spending so much of our lives chasing a mirage of things that if we just buy this latest gadget or if we just have this latest device, then that's what's going to make us happier. But devices don't make us happier. Our experiences do. So we need to be very clear on how we spend our time and our money. It says in the aforementioned survey, 31% of buyers wound up regretting purchasing a home that's too small. And things like that are aspects that you should be mindful of. It's one thing to buy a home with a dated kitchen and renovate it later. But if you buy a 3-bedroom home on a small lot, you may not be able to expand it to a larger home, even if you're willing to throw money at the problem. Some people have this problem with small homes, and some people have the same problems with bigger properties. We always think in terms of space, but that's going to mean that you're going to have to pay a higher electric bill just to take care of the whole house. We got to think about these things, guys. And I want to take a quick moment to just pause and look at y'all's commentary to see, are y'all commenting and are y'all donating? Yes, you are. And shout out to my sister, Yanaya. Thank you so much, Sister Yanaya, for the $20 super chat. I see you in the house. Thank you so much for that super sticker. I really, really appreciate your support, sister. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. Okay. Tonight, we're talking about, should you buy a home in 2022? I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade. I'm trying to help you make an informed decision so that you don't become one of the 75% of people that regrets buying it. Now, shout out to all of you guys that are hopping on. If you're just now getting on, make sure that you smash that like button. And once again, for all of you that are getting tremendous value from this podcast, please donate. Your support goes a very long way. Now, back to the article. I see Yasha Allah says yes and no on should you buy a property. I agree. And I'm going to show you the reason why I agree that you shouldn't buy a property. I've got these 5 reasons for you. And I also want to point out to you guys, if you should buy a property, I'm going to show you guys some of the telltale signs on if this is the right decision for you to make. Okay. So now going back to where we are, 75% of recent home buyers have regrets. The third reason that this is a problem is because most people do not price the cost of repairs before agreeing to take them on. So a lot of you guys have probably thought about buying real estate property, and maybe it was something that was a fixer-upper. You underestimate how much money it will cost to turn that property upside down. I have a lot of painful experience, and I just want to warn you guys before doing that, it can put you under a lot of pressure. So when I bought my property in North Austin back in 2014, I bought this property at a very low price, but it needed a decent amount of renovation. I needed to replace an AC unit, which was $12,000 off top at the time. And I also needed to do some renovations. To make a long story short, the renovations and the cost of repairs on that property was well over $20,000. I paid almost as much to renovate the property as I did to put a 20% down payment on the mortgage. These are things that you really want to factor in before you start to make a buying decision. A lot of you guys may be so excited to get your first property that you say, hey, I don't care what condition it's in. As long as I get my foot in the door, I'm good to go. But the point is, you need to count the cost, because the last thing that you want to do is be on the hook for a home that you can't afford to repair, because then your name is on the property, and whatever repairs that you can't afford to make, you just got to live with that situation. It says it's common to buy a home knowing you'll need to make some repairs or do some cosmetic work. But before you commit to that situation, get estimates from contractors so you know what costs you're in for. This is the reason why getting an inspection is so important on the property. A good inspector will let you know if this is a good investment or not. When I was buying my first property in Austin, the investor told me I was borderline on it. It could have been a good investment or it could have been a bad investment. So I took the time to put the money behind it so it would be good instead of bad. But a lot of you guys, you may get in the property and underestimate how much your down payment costs. So then by the time that you actually get the home, you don't have any more money to actually make repairs. This is a big problem that a lot of people have, which is why so many people regret it. You might assume a given issue with a home you're looking to buy will only cost $5,000 to fix. But what if it actually costs you $10,000? If that's a price you can't afford, you could end up in serious financial hot water. And this is the reason why I always recommend that you build up your emergency fund before buying a house. For you guys that are looking to buy investment property, you really need to have your emergency savings tight, because you never know when a piece of the property is going to break down like an appliance. And if you don't have the money to pay for it out of pocket, you're going to go into debt trying to fix the issue. It's one thing if you buy a home and you can live with the damages, but it's something totally different when you have tenants that are looking for you to make a fix that day. You've got to be well prepared for these unexpected situations to happen. And a lot of people, they fantasize so much about investing in real estate. And while it makes a lot of money, it only makes a lot of money if you're making the right moves. If you're not doing the math on how much money you need to have to cover your repairs, it can easily cost you a lot more money than what you will actually make. I remember for the first few years in me owning my investment property in North Austin, it actually wasn't that big of a moneymaker for me. Why? Because I was dumping more money into the property than what I was getting from it for a return from investment. The only reason why my property has been profitable over time is because I've held on to it for so long. And gradually, I've made renovations. The property value has appreciated over time. I've paid down on my mortgage. I've built up my equity. You guys really have to know how this game is played. So it says in the survey, 32% of new buyers regretted buying a home that needed more work or maintenance than expected. So get a realistic sense of what your repairs will cost before moving forward. Also, if you're buying a larger or older home, try to estimate what it will take to maintain it by talking to other homeowners and contractors rather than just assuming that that's a cost that you'll be able to swing. The last thing you want to do is buy a home and bemoan that decision once you've settled in. If you employ these tips, you may be more likely to find a suitable home that doesn't leave you questioning your decision to buy. So once again, guys, I want y'all to leave me a comment, and I want you to tell me if you've ever been in a situation where you've bought a home and then you regretted it. I want you to tell me about a time where you may have thought about buying a property, you were super excited, you went all in head first, and then in hindsight, you thought that there were certain things that you should have done differently. If you're one of the 75% of people that regrets having bought a home, let me know the reason why you regretted it. So that way we can help to educate the culture on what not to do when buying their first place. Now, I want to show you guys something else. I want to give you guys the second reason why you should not buy a home in 2022. This is another one right here, okay? Mortgage rates are flying through the roof. Mortgage rates are rising faster than expected, reaching its highest level since 2011. Inflation is to blame, okay? So we see that so many experts are talking about how inflation is just ruining the economy. They're talking about how the 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 5.12% at the time that this article is written. It's now over 5.5%. It's only getting higher. This is the highest since 2011 as rates broke the 5% threshold for the first time in years. The article then talks about how inflation and the Federal Reserve are the ones that are responsible for running up all of these numbers, making things so expensive. And then it talks about how inflation is only making things worse. Notice what it says right here. Experts say the rising rate environment makes it more important than ever to shop around for a mortgage when you buy a house. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate crossed the 5% threshold for the first time in years. And guys, what this means in layman's terms is borrowing is getting expensive as hell. Y'all know how y'all be taking out these credit cards and y'all's credit cards be like 15% interest. It's a lot of money. So when you buy anything on credit, you always want to ask yourself, what is the interest rate? If the interest rate goes higher, that means that you'll have to pay more, not just in covering the balance, but paying off on the extra interest that's been charged. A lot of people get caught up with this when it comes to payday loans. Stay away from those completely. It is taking your money and pimping you out by the minute. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate crossed the 5% threshold for the first time in years as fast rising mortgage rates continue to complicate financial matters for homebuyers. After spending the better part of 2 years below 4%, rates have quickly returned to levels last seen in 2018 as inflation, action by the Federal Reserve, and financial uncertainty caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine created significant volatility in interest rates. It says mortgage rates hit the highest level in more than 11 years this week. This is the reason why I'm coming out here and saying right now isn't the best time to buy, because mortgage rates are the highest that it's ever been in over a decade. That shows you that there's time for the market to cool down. There's time where you want to wait for things to come back a little bit more normal, and you may be in a better position to afford it. The interest rates are only getting more expensive now, which means that if you try to go out into this market, you're going to be paying for a property at top dollar. Mortgage rates are only going to get worse throughout the year, so this is something that you guys need to watch out for. Mortgage rates hit the highest level in more than 11 years this week, says Greg McBride, chief financial analyst at Bankrate. Other than a brief 8-week span in late 2018, mortgage rates have been below the 5% mark since 2011. We've never seen a run up in mortgage rates that has been this big, this fast. This is the reason why I'm warning you guys about buying a home. It is only getting more expensive by the minute. And some of you guys may be looking and saying, oh, well, you know what? I can afford a mortgage at a 5.5% interest rate. By the time that you actually find a property, it could be higher than that. The Federal Reserve is constantly raising these interest rates. It says we've never seen a run-up mortgage in mortgage rates. We've never seen a run-up in mortgage rates that has been this big, this fast. There have been bigger moves in mortgage rates in the past, but they took significantly longer to unfold. So things have gotten very expensive, very fast, and we don't know how much more we can take. We don't know how much higher these interest rates are going to go. That's the reason why I'm just warning you guys, be careful in this marketplace. It says in February, rates topped 4% for the first time since the started, and they have risen another percentage point in 2 months. I'm coughing because y'all know when we say certain words, YouTube be flagging the content. Rates were expected to go up, says Britt Bivanor, chief technology officer at Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, a national lender. I don't think it's a surprise. I think the speed at which rates have risen is what's causing the concern more than anything. The surge in rates, combined with the concurrent dramatic increase in home prices, means it's getting more difficult for buyers to buy a home. What this means is it's not only high interest rates that are pushing people out of the market, it's the property value getting so high that's pushing people out too. That property is getting more expensive and the amount of interest is being charged at a higher rate. That's a double whammy. What I'm telling you guys is you may want to start considering the market whenever interest rates go down, or you want to be aware of it getting higher. I remember when I was looking into buying a property last year, I wanted to have a custom build home in a different location from where I am today. And when I first put money down on the property was valued at around $600,000. Within a month or so time, the property went from costing me 600,000 to $1 million. And I said, nah, man, because if it's going up that high in this 1 month, how much is this property going to cost me by the time that it's actually done? Keep in mind, guys, it takes 10 months on average to build a home from the ground up. So if I was already going from 600,000 to $1 million in 1 month, God only knows how much that house would have cost me by the time that the home was done and I needed to go into closing on my escrow. You need to start watching this. The housing market has been so crazy that from 1 week to the next, it keeps going up and up and up and up. And the reason why it keeps going up is because we're at a point now where the market is actually trying to get people to stop buying. It's trying to get people to slow down because with all of this fast buying, there's a lot of inflation. And when there's more inflation, it makes it so that it becomes a struggle for people to get by in their day to day. If you guys have been watching my content, you already know about the dangers of inflation. And right now, with inflation being over 8%, it's a lot harder to afford basic goods. But we're going to look at this one more time. It says the surge in rates combined with the concurrent dramatic increase in home prices means it's getting more difficult for buyers to afford a home, particularly for borrowers that were previously pre-approved or have been shopping for some time. Oh man, I can't even read no more on this because it's getting me mad. It's getting me mad because it's reminding me of the hassle that I had to go through when I was looking to buy a home last year. Guys, I went through a nightmare. I already told you guys about the time that I tried to get a custom built house. When I let go of that contract, I looked into another property. And when I first started going through the process of getting a loan, they told me that I could get a loan at a certain percentage. 1 week later, as I'm putting the money together for that percentage, I get a call back from the lending agent saying, oh, it's actually double the down payment amount. That's the type of nonsense that I don't like. Now, I'm not going to call out the mortgage company that I was dealing with because I had to put them to the side. I'm Better Mortgage. But anyway, when I started dealing with other lenders, I wanted to get the upfront analysis on what does this really mean? What are we really able to accomplish in getting this property? But the market was going so crazy, some of this stuff was out of their hands. If you didn't make certain moves right there in the moment, your down payment percent had to change. The interest rate on the home changed. The property value on the property changed. There's so many things that are changing so quick. And that's the reason why the economists are saying that it's really shocking how things became so expensive so quickly. It happened so fast. The surge in rates combined with the concurrent dramatic increase in home prices means it's getting more difficult for buyers to afford a home, particularly for borrowers that were previously pre-approved or have been shopping for some time. Some of them have been pushed out or they're seeing buying power diminish as rates rise like that. Okay. So, again, not going into this whole article, but just giving you guys some key points. I want you guys to notice what happens whenever you try to buy a mortgage in a buy a home in a hot market where the mortgage rates are absolutely insane. And thank you so much, Michelle JL Israel, for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate you. Hey, thank you guys so much for the love today. That really means a lot. I really appreciate all that you guys do to help keep this channel going. As I continue to get your support, this is going to allow me to be able to do another show. So thank you guys so much. We are definitely on par for doing another episode this week. Thank you again. Okay. Yanaya said, I got my place for $80,000 and it got appraised at $151,000. Shout out to Yanaya. Shout out to Yanaya. Property value going up, sister. Way to go, 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 way to go. Okay. For those of y'all that are on, make sure that you smash that like button. Tonight, we're talking about, should you buy a home in 2022? Okay, I'm seeing some questions pop in, and we're definitely going to get to those. So thank you so much for all of y'all's support. Now, there's another point that I want us to talk about as we ask ourselves this question: is right now the right time to buy a house? I'm going to share this article with you guys. Y'all know I love sharing these things with y'all, right? Just because I want y'all to know I'm not making stuff up. I'm not saying stuff for shock value. I'm telling you guys the real deal. Whether or not you follow it, that is on you. Look at what Michelle just said. Now is a terrible time to buy a home. All these bidding wars make it so hard. Absolutely, sis. Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. Right now, it is hell in the housing market. And you kill yourself to try to buy a home just for something that's so expensive. Like, I don't know if a lot of y'all have actually been out in the housing market to try to get yourself a place within the past 6 months. But man, like some of the properties that are being sold right now is not even really worth that kind of money. But people are so desperate to get into a house right now for some reason, they're willing to pay excessive amounts. I mean, even when we talk about this whole bidding war strategy, you got people that are putting in $50,000 more on a property, $100,000 beyond the asking price. I remember I was going and looking for a property that was valued at $800,000. I put in a bid at around $830,000, which was beyond the $800,000 asking price. I was told I wasn't even close to what the winning bid was. Right now, that same property is valued at over $1 million. So this housing market is cray-cray, y'all. It's cray-cray. Y'all just gotta be patient and wait, because if you can see a housing crash coming where certain homes will be grossly discounted because they will be foreclosed in certain properties, you may have better opportunities. Also, just by the interest rates going back down, it'll make it that much more affordable to buy a house. But as Michelle JL Israel said, now is a terrible time to buy. I'm glad it's not just me talking. And guess what, guys? We also going to open up the panel. I hope you're still with me, Yashala. We're going to open up the panel tonight to see what y'all think on this discussion. Should you buy a home? Yes or no? Okay. So now I want to show you guys this article right here. This is important. It says, buying a home is harder in these 3 states where income has been stagnant. It's talking about 3 states, but this is something for us all to consider. Owning a home is a key part of the iconic American dream. But when housing costs go up and wage levels do not, that makes it hard to do. What this article tells us is that housing prices have gotten so much higher, but the amount of money that we make from working our 9-to-5 jobs has not increased at the same level. Housing prices are going through the roof, but we're getting paid the same. That's why a lot of people are getting pushed out of the housing market in general. It says a new study from Quote Wizard by Lending Tree finds that the imbalance today is real. Facts. Over the past 10 years, the median price of a home has increased 70%. Guys, did y'all see that number? Over the past 10 years, the median price of a home has increased 70%. The price of buying a home over the past decade is almost double that of what it used to be. We got to start asking ourselves a question. Is it really worth it to buy a home? Sometimes it may be better for you to rent, but so many of us, oh, I got to have a house. I got to have a house. I got to have a house. Hey, don't complain if you got to spend all of your money putting in constant, upgrades and renovations and repairs to that house, because we've been warning you guys, this thing is getting out of control. I myself am a homeowner. But one thing that you also know to be true is before I ever bought a home, I got out of my $95,000 in student loan debt completely. I paid off my credit cards. There were a lot of steps that I took. There were different moves that I made before getting myself to this place that I am today. And the problem with so many people is that we're constantly looking at wealthy people and trying to make what they did in their year 20, what we do right now in our year 1. Maybe you can't afford to go and buy the same car that the wealthy guy has 20 years in the making. Maybe you got to do the same things that he was doing in his year 1. Everybody looks at the peak of people's success, but they never study what that person's life was like in order to get to where they are today. A new study from Quote Wizard by Lending Tree finds that the imbalance today is real. Over the past 10 years, the median price of a home has increased 70% to $129,000, while the median income has only risen 30% to $14,695. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all, and I might get some flack from Texans to say this. I don't know a lot of properties in Texas right now that's being sold for $129,000. Maybe in the boondocks somewhere off down yonder where people used to get lynched. But in major cities where you actually have restaurants and car washes and hotels, $129,000, you can forget about that. I remember, though, if you came to Texas back in the day to get a property for $129K, you were able to start a family up in there. But now you can't buy a property for $129,000, at least in the part of Texas that I'm living in, without it requiring significant repairs. Guys, I was looking at properties with my mother-in-law recently. Grandmas want to be closer to their grandbabies. And these housing prices are out of control. I'm saying, guys, we're going and looking at homes to buy in, just outskirt places in Texas. And when we stop and get a meal, the cost of a burger is $10 by itself. I'm not talking about the whole meal. I'm saying my wife and her mom pull up at Five Guys. The cost to get a hamburger is $10. No fries, no drink, $10 for the burger alone. And I'm like, yo, we're in the middle of nowhere, Texas. What is happening? It's like it's California around here. It's like we're in New York or Miami. These prices are getting out of control. So I don't even know what it's looking like anymore in Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. Everything is going up. The median price around the country is $129,000. But guys, you move to certain parts, you'd be hard pressed to find somewhere good to stay in that kind of price range. If you want people shooting up your house, every other week, then maybe you still can get somewhere around where I live, but now that's totally off the table. It says the median price of a home has increased 70% to 129K, while the median income has only risen 30% to $14,695. Guys, 70% housing increase, 30% salary increase. How can we keep up? This is the reason why I'm constantly telling you guys to create new streams of income. Things are only going to get more expensive. Gas prices are getting higher. Education prices are getting higher. Food prices are getting higher. If we're going to keep up with the cost of living, we've got to make more money. Now, guys, I don't know what y'all's political views are, and that's not really what this channel is about. But I just want to warn you guys, this is not going to go away just by you demanding of the president and politicians to make everything more affordable for the people. You're going to have to tackle this problem yourself. There's not going to be any programs that's coming out in the next couple weeks to get you out of some of the big problems that are coming to this country economically. If you was watching my content last week, you know that a major recession is coming. And so you need to protect your family from what's to come. It says the states with the biggest gaps are Nevada, 118 percentage points or $275,000. Idaho, 118 percentage points or $298,000. Arizona, 99.3 percentage points or $256,000. If buying a home is important to you, consider developing a taste for cheesecake, Bobby sandwiches, or gumbo, because in New York, Delaware, and Louisiana, income increased more than housing costs did. So in some places, they'll pay you more money to live there, but in a place like New York, it's already high as hell. So honestly, that's not saying too much to me. But this is just something that I want y'all to look at. I just wanted to share with y'all these 3 articles because these prices are getting out of this world. Brother Yasha Allah says, Five Guys, I just paid $27 Friday for a meal. Bro, are you serious? For yourself? Nobody else. You didn't have nobody else with you. You paid $27 for your own meal. Yanaya says, when I get to Texas, I'm going to need a roommate. Yeah, we're going to have to look into that for you, sis. We're definitely going to have to figure something out on that one. You also said, I've been looking in Texas. These places are in shanty towns. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Hey, y'all been leaving some good comments. Thank y'all so much for the feedback. I'm looking at these comments right now, just getting through it. Yasha Allah said, maybe the hood in Texas. Absolutely. I'm not. Hey, the places like that now, I ain't trying to be in those parts. Shootings, all kind of stuff, man. We don't even need to get into it. But if you want to live good in Texas now, you're gonna need to have a little bit of money behind you. Okay. Michelle said the decent price homes I've seen are in areas where good paying jobs are scarce. You got to commute at least 45 minutes to an hour. Absolutely. Yes, I actually now live about 45 minutes outside of Austin. So I definitely know how you feel. For me in Austin, it's a great place as far as a city and employment, but the housing market in Austin is so bad. And I spoil my tenants because, I give it to some of my church friends at a discounted price. But guys, in Austin, it is really getting out of control. It really, really is. I'm looking at some of these other comments. Ariel says, oh man, that's so crazy. You also said, yeah, that was for just you. It's crazy, man. That's so crazy. So now, guys, let's talk about this. What are the 5 reasons that you shouldn't buy a home in 2022? And how do you know when is the right time to buy? Well, we already talked about how 75% of homeowners regret their purchase decision. Chances are that could be you. Second reason why you shouldn't buy a home is that mortgage rates are rising faster than expected. The economists showed us that everything is rising so high, so quick. The third reason why we shouldn't buy a home right now is because homes are a lot more expensive than they were last year. Housing prices have increased, but wages have not. This is the reason why you have a lot of people calling this time period stagflation, because the price of everything else is getting high as hell, but the one thing that's not going up by much is the average person's salary. The fourth reason why this is not the right time to buy is because of opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is when you decide to buy one thing and walk away from the opportunity from somewhere else. Look at what's going on in the stock market right now. I don't know how many of y'all saw my video about the great wealth transfer. Y'all need to check that video out. In that video, I showed you guys where the great wealth transfer is happening right now in the markets. If you're putting money in real estate, just know that's happening at the opportunity cost of if you put your money in other markets and how that could have worked out for you right now. Man, I was just looking at my computer, just beating myself up. I'm telling you guys, I've been putting money on the table. I don't know about y'all. Some of the things that I was telling y'all about in that podcast, I've been making decisions, man. I've been making moves. I was showing my wife I've bought different investments just this morning alone. And the reason why I'm doing this with a sense of urgency is because I know that these opportunities will be here today and gone tomorrow. So I have to do it within the window that the opportunity is available. Right now, this housing market is not the window. If you guys saw my podcast, you remember that I said last year, when the housing market was the hit, it was the wave. That's when I took my money from other places and I put it towards buying a house. Last year, interest rates were at its lowest in history. So I needed to seize the moment at that time to be a part of the housing market. But now that the interest rates are going up, now is not the time to be in the housing market. Right now is the time for you to be in other markets like the stock market. And what am I doing? I'm pausing on my real estate investments and I'm now putting my attention there. You guys got to know how to move with the market. You have to know how to understand the economy. If you guys want to know how to create generational wealth, you have to know where the wealth is going. And so, one of the big reasons why you shouldn't buy a home in 2022 is because of the opportunity cost of where your money could go in other places. It's no different than if you spend $100 buying Jordans. If you put that $100 towards, a stock investment, that could make you a lot more money than the price of Jordans. It's all about taking your money as far as it can go. Everybody is going to make money in some amount, but some of us will put our money in different places. The fifth reason why you shouldn't buy a home right now is because the cost of down payment can be too high. Guys, the cost of the down payment can be too high. I remember what it was like for me to get this property. I had to pull money out of big accounts in order to make the purchase. Now, one thing that they won't tell you guys is when the interest rates go up, depending upon where your credit is at, that can raise how much money you have to put down also. Some of you guys may be looking into certain FHA programs or certain things to go in no money down. But for a fixed conventional loan, You're going to end up paying a down payment that is so high. If you would have taken that money and put it in other places, you could have very well put yourself on the road to becoming a millionaire. I'm telling you guys, y'all don't see me talking about houses right now, and I own over $1 million in real estate. If there's anybody that would talk and brag about how important the housing market is, it would be me. I have a vested interest in the housing market and where it goes. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not focused on this market because this market is only going to reward the people who already have property. During inflation, the property values are going to get higher and higher, which means that for the buyer, it's going to be bad. But for the person that sells or owns the property, that's good for them because it means there's more money in their pocket. I don't want to be a buyer right now. I want to go and find things that are being sold at a discount. No homes right now are being sold at a discount. If they are, something's wrong with the property. If a home in this market is being sold at a discounted price, chances are there's something bad, and they're just hoping that you don't notice it until after the property is in your name. Pipes busted and all jacked up, roof about to cave in, you feeling like you about to be the next slumlord on a property. You don't want to do that, guys. Okay. You want to put yourself in the right position. And so when we talk about this cost of payment issue, a down payment, you got to ask yourself, where is the money even going to come from to make a down payment that's that high? Do you have to pull out your entire 401k for you to get a down payment on your house? Have you been saving enough money to afford a 5-10% down payment? I tend to recommend sometimes, if possible, you make a 20% down payment just to avoid PMI, private mortgage insurance. But if you don't have the money, where is it coming from? Are you going to go into debt just to be able to make the down payment on the property, much less pay the monthly mortgage? It's going to be very expensive. This is not a buyer's market. So I recommend that you just sit back and be patient for a little while longer for the market to shift from being a seller's market to a buyer's market. Right now is the time for sellers because the property value is very high and people are still buying. Things are starting to cool down now a little bit, but it is still not the best time to buy. Okay. So if you want to know my bonus tips on when is the best time to buy, the first thing that you really need to use is a mortgage calculator. You want to use a mortgage calculator because you want to get a good idea on how much money you'll be paying. A lot of people will try to sell you on things like the mortgage, but you don't know how much things cost between the mortgage payment, the property taxes, how much insurance is. A lot of times when people are trying to sell you a home, they're only going to tell you the bottom rate. They're going to tell you the lowest possible price, not the highest. So before you get so caught up in these fads, you need to actually go online and just do a Google search of a mortgage calculator to see with the amount of money that you're looking to spend, how much mortgage can you really afford? Put it in there. Hey, I'm looking to buy a home for $200,000. Okay, if I buy a home at $200,000 and I put down this down payment at this interest rate, how much money am I going to be paying every month? How much am I going to be paying on the mortgage? How much am I going to be paying on the property taxes? These are things that you guys need to figure out. A lot of people don't think about this until it is too late. And then they're stressed the hell out and then wishing that they never bought a home in the first place. To make sure that you're not among the 75% of people that regret buying a home, you need to be doing this up front before you even sit down and talk to a real estate agent or a lender. Second thing that you should do is watch the market. So if you've used the mortgage calculator to know whether or not you can afford the price of a home, then that's when you need to look at the market and ask yourself, is this really a good time for me to buy? How do you know if it's a good time for you to buy? Well, the interest rates behind the mortgage of a property, are they historically high? Are they historically low? Or is it somewhere in between? Is the housing market extremely hot where everybody and their mama is buying and you're going to be bidding with 10 other people for every home that you try to get? Or are there rare opportunities for you to be able to buy a property without so much hassle and you can get it at an affordable cost? The reason why so many people have regretted buying a home in the past 2 years is because things have gotten so expensive so quick that just to be able to put their name into a property, they had to spend more money and more time that they imagined spending, all in the name of getting a place. But you want to get a place where you don't have buyer's remorse. So you want to watch the housing market and just see how it's going. Number three, and see, this is the reason why a lot of times, guys, you got to have patience. The reason why so many people don't do this is because whenever they buy a home, the time that they think about buying a home is the exact time they look into buying a home. That's not how you want to do it. If Listen, I'm looking into buying my next property years down the line. I'm making the moves for the property purchase right now. I'm looking into land acquisition. I'm looking into where I want to be at in terms of down payment, credit score, income, all of those things. I'm planning for tomorrow today. But the reason why so many people either regret making a purchase or get pushed out of the housing market altogether is because they don't give themselves enough time to plan. Okay. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You got to put yourself in a position where years before you buy a home, at least 6 months to a year before buying a home, you really do your due diligence and evaluate how you can go about making this purchase wisely. The third and final way that you will know that this is the right time to buy is just by you evaluating your long-term plans. So I keep talking about, thinking about buying a home somewhere down the road, but the people that make good money through real estate among the people that buy and hold properties are the ones who plan on staying in that property over approximately 5 to 7 years. If you plan on buying a property today and living in it for 6 weeks and then reselling it, you could find yourself into a world of problems. Guys, home ownership is not the same thing as flipping houses. When people flip houses, the reason why they will quickly buy and sell is because they already know the process to make the price on that property that much better. And they already have the renovation and repair cost that's necessary to put into the property from day one. If you're trying to buy a home for your family, but yet you don't have any renovation costs and you're not looking to sell it as soon as you get in there, if a year into you living in this place, you end up selling it, you may not actually walk away with a return on your investment. Why? Because even if the value of the property is more than it was when you first bought it, think about how much money it's going to cost you to sell it. There's going to be transaction fees. There's going to be all these things that you're going to need to pay for just to put the property on the market. And the same thing applies with buying a property. If you look into buying a property, like I said, you're going to have to pay for an inspection. You're going to have to pay for the land survey. You're going to have to pay all of these different expenses. So you need to make sure that it's worth your time. The key to investing is finding a good investment and being willing to play the long game. And that's the reason why whenever I buy property, I always look to see how I can hold on to it for a long time. I don't like to play the in and out game. I like to buy something that I think will pay benefits for an extended period of time and then reap the benefits from there. Okay, guys? So those are all of the 5 reasons why you shouldn't buy a home right now. But if you do decide to buy a home right now, keep those bonus points in consideration. Some of you guys may be in a financial position to afford it. You've already crunched the numbers on your mortgage calculator. Some of you guys are looking at the market and you're saying, okay, Uzziah, what you're saying makes sense, but maybe the interest rates will go higher later into this year, and I need to get a home right now. Maybe this might be the time for you to do it. And then as you evaluate your plans, you got to ask yourself, do you plan on staying at this property for an extended period of time? If the answer is yes, it's going to give you a better opportunity for you to have a strong return on your investment. If the answer is no, and you're constantly moving around, you might not want to buy because you're going to end up spending more money than you make. These are all of the things that you want to think about when it comes to buying a property. All right, guys. So I hope you guys got a lot of value. If you did, please make sure that you tap that dollar icon directly below the live chat box to donate. I want to open up the panel. Okay, so for any of y'all that are looking to tap in with your brother tonight, let's talk about this. Should you buy a home right now? Yes or no? Okay, the link is in the comments below, and I've also put the information on the screen. Let's talk about it. Sis Yanaya says, I have to look at your last video. You was dropping gems. Thank you so much, sis. I really appreciate the support. Hey, I'm just trying to get out here and show us how to really do this thing, man. You know, some of us, we work so hard and we don't have much to show for it. Not because we're not good people, it's because we've never been taught how the game is played. I always promised myself that once I was able to accomplish success, that I would show my community how to do it. So with me now owning over $1 million in real estate and having paid off over $100,000 in student loans, I wanted to show the community how you go about that process and how we can all create generational wealth. I see we got a good turnout on the panel tonight. Okay, Brother Yasha, I might have to have you hold on for a quick second because everybody knows your familiar face. Shout out to Brother Yasha Ali. Y'all can get that, put them on real quick. But we also have Sis Shania. Sis Shania, how are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
Doing well. It's so good to see your face.
You as well. You as well.
What you got for us on tonight's episode?
I just, you know what? It's all praises to the Most High. I was thinking about purchasing another home because, you know, I'm really trying to make this move to Texas. But you know what? I'm going to wait. I think I might do the rental thing for a moment because I still want to do what I still want to be able to be there so I can put my brick in. But yeah, this is not a good time. And I mean, I had so many ideas in my head how I was going to get the money up, and I never thought about the appraisal. I never thought about those other different things that come across. I said, you know what? Maybe I'll just do the rental and still have my place here that I'll be rented out here in Georgia. So yeah, I mean, you've dropped off so much knowledge to me. You have no idea. You've been such a blessing.
Oh, thank you, my sister. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your support. And, you know, one thing that I really want people to understand from your testimony is renting is not losing money. You see, a lot of times people think that, well, because I'm renting a property, you know, all of my money is going down the drain. When in reality, that's just a tax for you putting your life together. You're getting your finances together. You're putting all of your ducks in a row. And it's wiser for you to rent so that way you can buy the right place than for you to buy any place. And that stops you from being able to buy the place that you really want at a later time. You know, before I bought my first investment property, man, I was staying at a low-income apartment with a crack in the wall. I remember when my in-laws would come to the place, they would just look at us like with disgust, like, where are y'all living at? Why y'all not living somewhere else? They couldn't understand why, you know, for the type of career path we were going down, why we would choose to live into a lower income property. And the reason is because I was looking to move to a place that would keep my housing expenses as low as possible so that I could put my money towards getting out of debt and putting myself in a position where I could afford to get a property that is the type of place that I would want for an extended period of time. So I definitely think that that's a wise decision. And I'm happy that you're taking those steps.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Like I said, you took an L, but sometimes you have to take an L for a greater cause. And that makes a lot of sense. So I know what path I'm going to be going down now. So yeah, I will be renting. Rather than I
Perfect.
be renting. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Anytime. I can't wait to see you on. Please come back again. My heart would rejoice to see you once again. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right now. My brother Yasha Allah, what's going on, man?
Shalom, big brother. Shalom. Shalom. Can you hear me?
Good to see you, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. But what you said, you were right. You have to wait to your right moment. You know what I mean? And I said yes or no, like you said earlier. You said it all in the video, in the class. You have to. You gotta buy smart. You gotta know what you're making. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know. Hey, do I have the long term to pay for this mortgage? That's 30, 25 years, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's where it is. You know what I mean? And me, before when I did it years ago, I tell people, don't buy a house on 2 incomes. You said that in the class. Don't buy 2 houses on 2 incomes. That's a work mistake. There should be one person paying for everything. That's it. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If she works, guess what? That's just extra money.
Right.
Not to blow it, to put in savings. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like you said, you don't think about, guess what? If you're in an area that code enforcement, you have to cut that grass every week, bro.
Yeah.
It can't get in this island neighborhood before. If it got 6 inches, or you was getting a notice on your door. They didn't play that. You know what I'm saying? And cutting grass today is expensive if you don't do it yourself. That's the way it is. You're going to allow sprinklers outside your front. You know what I mean? Your cars can't be broke down for no more than 30 days. That's just the way it is. You're going to have so many dogs in your neighborhood. You don't have a certain dog, like pit bulls. You need extra insurance. People, you got to check all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know that. You have to check all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You ain't never lied, man. Because there's a bit of a delay. So sorry on our podcast. I don't know if you got anything else open, bro, Yasha Allah, but it's a slight delay. But all I was gonna say was, man, you ain't never lied, brother, because on this property, and even with my investment property in Austin, man, I'm paying $400 a month on landscaping alone. I'm saying just to keep both properties maintained with the right landscaping, it costs $400 for me to have a guy come out here and do basic services. And I'm like, man, it's getting too crazy, man. It's getting insane. I'm like, $400 a month, man. Y'all better have my grass looking like it's out of a fairy tale or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where, again, we don't see it until it's too late. Everybody says, oh man, I need the house, I need this, I need that. But you never know how much money goes into being a homeowner until you already have the house in your name. Being a homeowner is the most expensive purchase that most people will ever make. And this is the reason why we got to be so wise about our decisions, because it ends up becoming a make or break into how successful we are.
And you're correct. And the thing about it is that you have property tax. A lot of people do not save up for property. You're going to have to pay that.
Yeah.
If you don't pay that, you might lose your house.
Absolutely.
That's the way it is. And like you said, the AC, that's 15 grand minimum off the grip if that goes out. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Or you got old piping or old electric code. You got to get up the code if something happened. Me, I do have to do my hands anyway, so it didn't matter to me. And, when I bought a
Right.
house, okay, I got no problem. I can do it like myself, and I enjoy doing it because it's mine. Now, if somebody
Correct.
paid me to do it, I wouldn't do it. That's just me. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. If somebody paid me to do it. Like, nah, I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's mine. I enjoy doing that myself. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you have to consider, like you said, everything you said, you have to consider.
Yeah.
Like me,
And,
I don't even have a house. For what?
yeah. Just another bill,
But
man, another billing.
right. But I did find an RV camper. I talked to the guy already because he needs the money. See what I'm saying? I'm in there
Mm,
for that reason there. Because like you said,
yes.
another 2 years I retire, I might not stay here. I want to be able to be mobile, but I can move.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? To Texas or whatever. So I want to be that's
Correct.
me. So I can do that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Right.
mean? And stuff like that. Like, Hawaii, there's a different story.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Who knows what
Right,
tomorrow will bring, man?
right, right. So,
So
but
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Great commentary. I want to take a quick moment to celebrate our sister Michelle because she made an excellent point. She said, my strategy is invest in one more rental property, preferably a duplex, then have 3 streams of passive income total to pay for my forever's home mortgage. Hey, listen, y'all. Some of y'all need to make sure that y'all check out my 3 keys to financial freedom masterclass because I talk a lot about this in that free webinar. Some of you guys ain't checked that out. You need to make sure that you do so because I actually have programs like 0 to 6 figures that shows you how to set up new streams of passive income. Her comment here is so awesome because this is really how you want to do it. You want to put yourself in a position where by you having rental property, not only do you have an asset that you own that's constantly appreciating in value, but you're also able to make a monthly rent, increasing your cash flow. We have a very similar strategy in this regard because my investment property in North Austin is a duplex. And I'm also looking to have other investment properties as well. And so you guys really want to think about what she's saying right here, because what she's saying is that her strategy will put her in a position where she doesn't have to work so hard to pay a higher mortgage if the housing market remains this way. And this is the number one thing that I always talk to my wife about behind the scenes. How do you put yourself in a position in life where you make the money that you need to make right now to carry you over for when you don't have the same stamina? I think this is going to be important for you to talk about with the people, Yasha Allah, because a lot of people, they might be in their 20s and 30s or even 40s, and they may presume that, man, I'm just going to always want to have this zest to just get up and go and grab, life by the bootstraps. But as you get older, you may want to slow down. You may want to actually take some time to enjoy life. You may not always be wanting to grind it and hustle. So I really love what Michelle is talking about because y'all got to start learning how to do things that are difficult when it's easy. When you're in the prime of your career, instead of spending all of your money on BS, start to buy the assets that can give you enough residual income where you don't have to work to make money. I always say this to you guys. I do these shows. I'm an entrepreneur, a church pastor. There's many things that I do. But when it comes to the subject of making money, money is best to me when I don't have to work hard to get it. I love money the most whenever I can do the work now, and then it will come residually. Okay. If I buy a property and then I make residual income, if I set up things in my business to where all I do is create a bit of content one time and then I get the residuals from that over and over. We really need to start focusing on the fact that tomorrow's not promised. And if you felt like doing something completely different with your life in 10 years from now that didn't pay as good as what you do today, are you putting yourself in a position where you can live the life that you want to live instead of living the life that you have to live, all because you didn't make the right moves? Way to go, Michelle. We're definitely praying for your success. So it's on you. Yes, sir.
Oh, you said a lot, big brother, because listen, they didn't see me at our event we had, the Passover. And I like people, I'm 61. No, listen, people. When I get up in the morning, it takes about an hour to get ready. My knees kind of pop in place, my back hurt, I have to stretch, you know what I'm saying, and everything else. Because, I work hard. But like you said, though, I've been putting it back because I'm trying to do something else, you know what I'm saying, where the money comes in even more easier. That's why I don't work for 4 days now, you know what I mean? And like sister said, $27. You said, no, yeah, I might go splurge once in a while, but that's what it costs here. I'm telling you straight. And these prices ain't going to change. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? That's the way that everybody think. No, these prices are set, people. You forget that. They're not going lower. So if you ain't making the money, you ain't, like you said, you get older, there's a lot of things you don't want to do because your body is going to break down.
Right.
I just exercise, keep me in shape. That's all I do.
Good.
I don't exercise. Your body will. That's why they don't believe I'm 61. No, you got to eat right, sleep right, get your exercise, put the right food in your body, less mental stress. You got to exercise. That's why. That's the only reason why. You know what I mean? The Lord give me that strength. I keep praying for that strength. He can take it away and I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you don't, and today I'm laughing because one reason you said earlier, the new generation have no excuse. I'm sorry. Y'all don't have none. And I don't cut nobody no pity. They know me around here in the trucking industry. I don't cut nobody no pity, man. Not no young cats. I don't. You're too hard. No, because you brothers need to hit it hard. I talk to you soft, you don't hear. I talk to you hard, you might call me a butthole, but you're like, he told me the truth, but I need to hear. You know what I'm saying? You have no excuse with the internet. I didn't have this. I'm still trying to play catch up to you and everybody else, the younger generation. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying they didn't have the Generational Wealth podcast?
Nah. Internet. Man, forget that. They didn't have YouTube. I had the old phone. The flip phone Star Trek. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? And you only call at night, get the free minutes. Nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no unlimited anything. You know what I mean? But today, it makes no excuse. Yeah. You can't be on Facebook all day long, not learning nothing, and you know what I mean, and everything else. And I'm sorry, make good use of your time. So you have no excuse, young people. That's just the way you have none. I'm sorry. You have no excuse.
And you have a great. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got it.
Like I said, you have it here. You have your course here. I'm learning more from your course. Like I said, I'm catching up. I'm still behind the time because that's where I spend my time at. You know what I'm saying? But the young generation, you have no excuse to be broke. Like you said, it ain't about color today. You can forget that. Yes, we go through certain things, but making money, people, you have no excuse. You just don't have none. Well, I don't want to pay for the course. Listen, I went to truck driving school. I paid $4,000. Now it's like $12,000, $10,000, $12,000 now. You know what I'm saying? And the government made it mandatory. If you want to drive a truck, you have to go to school. You can't go to your cousin teaching you. No. Everybody now has to go to school. See what I'm saying? Wow. So because that's why I'm laughing. Because you're giving the gems. People don't want it.
Yeah.
They just don't. They don't want it.
And you know how our people do. And here come the problem. Oh, I want everything to be free. I want it all to be free. I want everything free. You put your money up to make it something good for the people, but it's all gotta be free. But this be the thing that's so crazy, Yashala. For all of the people that always talk about wanting free, how come you're not on these free podcasts right now? How come you're not watching all of the hundreds of free videos where the content is being given out to show you how to do better? You know what I mean? It's like we're living in some of the best times economically. This is the best time for us economically since we came to America. So if we don't want it, I mean, on some level, it's because we're not trying. We're not making the investment. We want things to be handed to us, but we got to go out there and get it, man. And fortunately, in this digital world, it's a lot easier to access it if you were sincerely wanting to get it. You know what I mean? It's like I feel for brothers like yourself because I remember what it was like for me in growing up in South Central. Man, my spirit burned for, man, let me tap in with a brother who, you know, got $1 million in real estate and show me how to do it. Show me how I can make it out of here and, you know, do something good for my family. You didn't have that access. But I was so blessed in getting older when these things did start to come out where I said, wow, you know, my mentor right now, I could tap in with them anytime. I can get mentorship from this person and that person. They don't even need to know me. All I need to do is cut my computer on. And it just be so crazy, sir, how we will have all of this access now that a lot of our ancestors did not have, but we would still complain as though we were just so, you know, disadvantaged. Right now, we have some real advantages, and we need to use those advantages to work in our favor.
And you're correct. And like you said, you can't listen to everybody.
Right.
You just can't, people.
Yes, sir.
I sit on YouTube, all these new truckers coming out here. I listen to people. You don't know what a doggone knuckle buster is. You don't know what a coffin is. Don't talk to me. Because you don't know about trucking. See what I'm saying? You out here telling these guys on YouTube that could kill themselves or kill their family or lose their career forever. And you're laughing about it. Certain things I don't laugh about. I've been damaged in this truck. Got placer screws on my eye, hold my eye in place.
Oh, wow.
So I'm saying, lost part of my vision. I got 3rd-degree burns. It's not a joke. So I'm saying, but you take that 1 or 2 people and go from there. That's all you need.
Right.
Learn the craft. But you can't go, like sister said, your wife said, I said it's a treat. She started laughing. It's a treat for her too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because you don't do it all the time. But hey, I can relax once in a while. You know, I enjoy life a little bit now. You know, I came to Passover. I had a suite. I got me a nice suite, rented a car. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It ain't all the time either now. You know what I'm saying? But like you got to put your focus on what you really want. Right. That's it. This is the time to get in these lessons. The brothers teaching, get in the classes, get in the courses, and like Air Jordans. I ain't never owned a pair of Air Jordans. I went and buy one. If you give me one, I'm gonna ask you for the receipt, and I'm going to sell, get some money out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. I'm good with $59.99. That's what I'm good with. That's about it for me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yes,
like about some boots. Now I like military boots. I can do a lot of combat boots. I work in boots. You know what I'm saying?
That's your thing right there. Yeah.
That's my thing. You know, some nice shoes, you know what I'm saying? Some old nice Stacey Adams or something like that. You know what I mean? So
oh yeah, you old school. You old school talking about Stacey Adams. Yeah, that's that's the
new ones are all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the new ones on now. But besides that, sneakers, listen, I deliver them. I know the cost, people. Y'all getting robbed. That's just the way it is. You're getting robbed blind, inside and out. You know what I'm saying? And people don't see that. You know what I mean? Yes, but this is why I laugh. Because you saying things like, man, if I had you, I was younger. Man, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, big brother, I think I remember you years ago. I think you got $10 from me from the Compton. Guys that go over there, I have to pay to stay at park overnight. Not come out doing, hey, bro, it is what it is. Oh, I got no problem. I'm saying, here you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You know,
sir. Yes,
you
sir.
know what I'm saying? But hey, it's just like, man, he's telling the truth. I mean, help me a lot of things I'm doing. Like you said, I don't waste my time with people who don't want to learn. I got no time. I changed a lot of my
Correct.
schedule. People
Yes, sir.
calling me. Our brother walked to me today in Miami. I know who he was at first, and then he started talking. I'm like, okay, yeah. He said, man, I took your advice. I went and put my LSC. I did. I'm gonna get my checking account when it come in. And you're right. I'm not right. It's the plan. It's
Right.
up to you, young blood. See
Right.
what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You got the time to do it. Just do it.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you know, like
Yes,
Nike,
sir.
just do it. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely gave us a world of gems right there, sir. Definitely appreciate your wisdom as always, man. You was definitely talking that OG talk when you was talking about Stacey Adams, man. I like that right there. I like that right there. I actually had me a pair too. It was nice.
you
Nice
see,
nice little
you got some
snake skin. It's kind of like
ah,
suede blue, almost darker bluer than this. Stacey Adams dress shoes. Yeah, man. I was trying to look
Pacific Blue.
fly, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
Pacific, maybe a
sir.
Pacific Blue. Yeah,
Yes,
Since I
sir. Yes,
don't know,
sir.
but like I said, and I don't
Yes,
really
sir.
dress today. I used to dress GQ style.
Oh,
I
I
just
know
don't
it.
back in the day. You know how back in the day GQ style, the come on
Yeah.
buns, and we had the dress Morris Day and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yes,
just
sir.
like I don't feel. I don't feel. I'm comfortable like this.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If I need to
Yes,
go
sir.
somewhere professionally, then I can throw some clothes on. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? I can't talk to truckers in a suit and tie. It's not gonna work. I'm sorry.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
it's not gonna
Absolutely.
work. You know
There's
what I
a
mean?
time
But
and place for everything. Absolutely.
right,
Yes,
right.
sir.
But,
I appreciate you, sir. Definitely great having you on as always, man. Hoping to see you on here again soon, man. We definitely gonna have to pick back up on this talk. Hey,
right.
keep pushing out there. Good to see you as always. All right now. So you listen, y'all. This is something that's very important. It's not just about having money, it's about knowing what to do with it. And when you want to create generational wealth, you need to know when is the right time to buy a house. If you went through today's podcast, you'll know when is the right time to buy a house and what are the signs that maybe you're not ready to buy. Don't worry, take your time because it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. Also, guys, when we talk about creating generational wealth, one of the biggest things that is so important for this is insurance. Because if you buy a house, Lord forbid you pass away, who's going to pay the mortgage payment? How's your family going to afford the house that you've bought? You need to get your insurance together. I keep telling y'all this night after night. If you do not have this taken care of for you and your family, and guys, when I talk about insurance, I'm not talking about the little life insurance that your job will give you for like $50,000. Who can live off of that? You need to be able to get a life insurance policy that is 10 times the amount of money that you make per year. Because if you end up finding yourself in a situation where, say, you do pass away, God forbid, your family needs enough time to get on their feet. Guys, I don't want to go over all the details right now. I know y'all been rocking with me for a minute, but if you do want to start setting up a policy for you and yours, reach out to me. As you know, I am a licensed insurance agent. So this is not just about me talking. Okay. This is about actually sitting down with y'all and seeing what we can do to help give you and your family a better future. If you're interested in that, feel free to shoot me an email. All right. Uzziah at blackmenscareer.com. Shoot me that email and then we can see what we can do to put something in the works. Okay. Also, y'all, for those of y'all that enjoy my content, there's an opportunity for you to get a copy of my free book. Okay. I'm going to take my name off the screen real quick so y'all can see this thing clearly. This book right next to me is my free book, The How to Succeed Survival Guide, how you can create an amazing life without living paycheck to paycheck. If you guys want a free copy of this book, all you need to do is click the link below. Michelle, yeah, it will be no problem for me to be able to add that on, as my license allows me to do insurance in any state. All I need to know is where the person is located so I can get added on in that state also. So it won't be a problem. Just send me your email and I'll get you taken care of. Okay. So yes, guys, if you want a free copy of the book, make sure that you check that out. Okay. All you got to do is put in your name, address, and I'll send it your way. Also, if you guys are looking to sit down with me privately, feel free to book a session. Book a private one-on-one consultation with me, and we can talk about how your life can move forward. Okay. Now is the time, guys. This is the time for you to get your affairs in order before the market turns. Take the time, go on my calendar, book your session. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I am more than happy to help. All right, guys. So listen, thank you to everyone that supported. We actually have a tie right now. Just want to point that out. We've got a tie with Yasha Allah's $20 super chat, as well as Sister Yanaya's $20 super sticker. I wonder if there's going to be any tie breaking today. I wonder if there's going to be an official sponsor of the podcast. Let's see. Let's see if there's going to be any additional $5 sponsorship where somebody takes the throne. Also, big shout out to Michelle for your super chat donation. Greatly appreciated. As always, guys, really appreciate all of your support and your sponsorship. If you have yet to do so, please make sure that you smash that like button. You know, it only takes 2 seconds, but just by you pressing that thumbs up, it goes a really long way towards growing this channel. Guys, I need to start putting more information out there about how the channel is doing. With all of this content that's going out there, there's no reason why more people should not know about this and get on board. I need y'all's help. Do not leave this channel a secret, okay? Be your brother's keeper and share this channel with your family and friends if you are getting value from it, okay? So once again, just to recap the 5 things that we went over today. Is this the right time to buy a house? The 5 reasons why I say that it's not is because 75% of adults regret their home buying decision. Mortgage rates are surging faster than expected. Homes are a lot more expensive this year than it was last year. Opportunity cost is big. There are some big moves being made right now in the other markets. If you have not watched my video on the Great Wealth Transfer, you need to watch that now. Watch that ASAP, because that's going to give you a lot of the advice that you need on how to make your next move. Last but not least, the cost of a down payment. With everything getting so high within this mortgage crisis, it's just being very hard to afford a down payment. Those are the 5 reasons why I personally would not look to buy right now. But if you are looking to buy right now, make sure that you're paying attention to the signs. Can you afford a place to live? Are you watching the market to see if this works in your favor? Are you committed to staying at the property long enough to actually get a return on your investment? If you're not doing those things, you can really set yourself up for disaster, okay? I'm trying to spare you guys from being like most adults who regret their home purchasing decision. So the information is here. It's up to you as to whether or not you're going to follow it. Now, okay, so check this out. My brother Yasha Allah gave a $5 sponsorship gift to Sis Shania for her to be the sponsor. I tell you, man, this brother Yasha Allah, he is such an honorable man. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So, Sister Yanaya, that makes you today's official sponsor. Compliments of brother Yasha Allah, a true gentleman. Sister Yanaya is our official sponsor today with a total of a $25 super chat. Thank you guys so much for your support. Really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be on tomorrow, guys. All right. So let's continue to keep each other in our prayers. Let's continue pushing forward. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. Until next time, keep pushing. Love y'all. Take care. Have a good night.